Hello, my friends, and welcome to an energy update with me, Rebecca.meisl. Thank you so much for joining me. I'm so excited to share with you this week's themes. I took some time to just meditate and go into what my guides wanted to tell us about this week ahead. And we have some really positive themes this week, which I feel are so great and so wonderful to hear, considering our last week with that full moon. It was very intense, and I don't know about a lot of you, but I was finding there was so many highs and lows last week. There was so much of this chaotic energy. And there was a lot of release work that was really being called for last week. And this week, I really am happy to tell you that the energies are lighter. We're going into a more positive week ahead. So let's dive into those themes. So for this week ahead, I've written down a few key themes for the week. We have a lot surrounding our goals, our manifestations, and getting a lot of clarity in those areas. We have a theme of taking care of others around us, using compassionate action, compassionate understanding, and gaining the insights we need from these relationships and taking notice of any mirroring that is taking place. We have partnership and collaboration, a group think mindset. We have a lot of brainstorming and taking actions in the areas of our dreams and ambitions. We have money problem solving and finding resolution. There's a lot around family, family bonds, and redefining what family truly means. Cutting off toxic patterns, perhaps coming from family, and anchoring and allowing ourselves for a reawakening. Expansiveness and spiritual rebirth, and lastly, creative pregnancy. So with these beautiful themes, let's dive into our first one today. So the first thing I was really strongly getting this week was gaining the confidence and the clarity that we need to really go after our goals and our manifestations. I'm hearing we're just going in and list making. We're making these manifestations, getting them down on paper, daydreaming, and allowing room for these things to really blossom. Where do you want to go next? Who do you want to be? What are you trying to create in this life? And we're really getting this beautiful bird's eye view this week that I feel. And what my guides keep showing me, it's like from this spiritual lens. So now in the past, perhaps we've always looked at our goals and dreams and ambitions in a very practical way, in a very physical 3D way. And this week I'm seeing this shift. We're seeing a lot of us now taking on more of this spiritual perspective, this bigger, larger view of life and what truly is going to be bringing us fulfillment. So when we do these lists, when we go into these daydreams and manifestations, we're being called this week to really allow ourselves to get that bird eye view. What truly fulfills you as an individual? And allow yourself to detach from the 3D programming and narrative. Yes, we might want that new car. Yes, we might want that new home, or we want that new job, whatever the case may be. But it's like detach from that human story for a moment and get that bigger picture. What brings you joy? What brings you satisfaction? What makes your soul feel alive? And those are the types of questions that I'm seeing us truly ponder a little deeper this week. And we're detaching from the details, we're detaching from the human story, and we're going into the soul story, the soul desires, the soul needs and wants. And I'm seeing us really gaining clarity from that. And from there, I'm hearing then once we get that clarity, we'll be able to better analyze where we've been scattering our energy, where we've been putting our eggs in perhaps one basket that's not fulfilling. And it's really allowing us to then hone that manifestation power and really decisively and consciously choose where we are putting that energy going forward. What do we truly want to put that power into? And I just keep hearing like this spiritual path that we're on. Our true beliefs are becoming much clearer to us. And with that, we're making those necessary life changes. We're feeling like, okay, is this really in alignment with who I am now, with who I'm becoming, who I wish to be? And if not, I'm seeing us really joyfully let these things go. I'm hearing some of us might be in this process as we speak. So there might be this process of letting go of old dreams, of old ambitions, because we're realizing that maybe those things weren't really what we thought they were. Perhaps they weren't exactly what we've been needing. And perhaps the universe has been holding this back from us. We might feel that way. We might be held back from these goals and ambitions and dreams, just like that theme of last week. Maybe for a reason. Maybe that's not what our soul's actually wanting. Maybe that's not what we're actually going to need. And I see a lot of us beginning to understand how the desires we've had in the past with that 3D perception haven't truly been the fulfilling things we've truly needed all along. And we're beginning to see then trust more that divine plan for our lives, because the universe knows what is truly going to be for our highest good, what is truly going to be fulfilling in our soul's journey. So once more, I'm seeing us lean further into this. We've cultivated so much more trust this week with the universe, I'm hearing, and it's like, keep doing that. Keep cultivating that trust. Keep relying on the universe to show you the path forward. And with that, I'm seeing this spurs so much positivity and relief, because I'm hearing we're putting less pressure on ourselves. We're going, okay, we can trust the flow. We can let go of what we thought we needed. And we're beginning to understand how there always is that larger perspective. And it really gives us this freedom this week that I'm seeing that allows us to take more of this positive and adventurous attitude. So it's like, what do you want to bring into this life that continues that momentum? And I'm seeing us really bring that into our manifestations and making them more simple. I want to feel joy. I want to be happy. You know, really manifesting the feelings this week. How do you want your life to feel? And it's like, once again, removing the complicated stories of the human life and going into what simple thing do you actually desire? Do you desire more love? Do you desire more fulfilling friendships, relationships, connections? Do you desire a broader, more spiritual connection to the universe? You know, it's like really going into what is it really that I need, and simplifying that manifestation and creating that daily through daily action. And I'm seeing once more just this adventurous, childlike excitement that spurs from this understanding. And with this positivity, I'm seeing a lot of us being able to help others this week. So as we've come out of this full moon, as we've learned so many lessons this week, and as we've released, we've created a lot of free space in our souls now. And that's what I'm hearing. We've created so much free space that we're able to better hold space for others. And when I say hold space, we're able to come to more of this empathy, this understanding, this compassion for others, because we've just gone through so much profound healing, so much change the past few years, honestly. And I see a lot of us being able to now be that person for others, be that solid ground for those who are perhaps just starting their awakening, perhaps just starting their journey, and allowing ourselves to come to that empathy and compassion. And what I'm really seeing this week is as we start taking care of others and as we start putting out that helping hand, the more we begin to see where healing perhaps is still taking place within us. Perhaps we're going to have this revisiting this week of, oh, I guess as I'm helping this person, that story, as I give them advice, it sounds eerily familiar. It sounds almost like exactly what I needed to hear. And I'm seeing a lot of this mirroring coming in this week, where it's like being very mindful of your connections this week, how you're helping people, and if that's actually the help that you also need and desire. And it's really allowing ourselves to take that mirroring technique a step further and really just allowing ourselves to go into every interaction and go, oh, is this also for me? Is this also healing for me? And it's like taking all that you can from these beautiful earthly connections, because I'm really seeing us in our relationships this week getting once again that bigger picture and really going into what am I learning from this connection. And as we help others, I'm just hearing we're hitting a new level of compassion. We're hitting a new level of understanding, which is so beautiful. From there, I'm seeing a lot of partnership and collaboration. This group think was what came through. So almost like, once again, reminding that we are not alone in this earthly journey, and to really start cultivating that oneness in our lives. So where have we isolated ourselves? Where have we been in hermit mode? And I'm hearing some of us have needed this step back. Some of us have needed to be in hermit mode, but I'm just hearing the word like it's time to modify this, just a tweak. And I'm hearing, allow yourself once more to get out there, to socialize, to be with people that really light you up, and begin to realize that we as a collective are all connected. So how can we start working together? How can we start bringing more collaboration? So when we are going through things, we're never going through them alone. How can we bring that connectivity into our lives in general? And I'm just really seeing this opening of the heart is what they're showing me, the opening of the heart chakra, the walls coming down, and making this openness, this expansiveness of the heart energy up to other people, and actually allowing our connections to be there for us, and bringing that beautiful harmony, this no longer give or take, this disbalance. I'm seeing that being very rectified this week, where we're getting an energy exchange. We're actually going with those laws of energy, where it's like, okay, I can give, but I also can receive. And we're finding this equal balance this week, and we're learning that it's okay to be supported. It's okay to have collaboration. It's healthy to sometimes have partnership. And when we're going through things, to be that partner, or allow others to be that partner for us, to show up in that way. And I'm seeing a lot of brainstorming this week. So if you have these new goals, these new manifestations, and you're unsure of how to bring them to fruition, I'm really just seeing us brainstorming with these other people. So this week, we're really just being encouraged. You don't need to come up with everything on your own. Get together, do some manifestations together as a group, as you know, bring your friends together, like work together in collaboration this week. That's just really, really coming up. Because I definitely see a lot of us still clinging to this old story that I need to do everything alone, I need to figure it out alone, and that's the only way. And it's like, let's be more flexible. Maybe someone else has some beautiful ideas to offer. And it's like, once again, open up that heart chakra. We don't need to close off anymore, my friends. We are safe to share. We are safe to collaborate. And there's no competition. And I'm just seeing this beautiful truth come in this week, where we're like, oh, we're really getting that point. Like, okay, I can have healthy connections. I can have people show up for me, and we can have an equal energy exchange. It doesn't always have to be me giving, because I'm definitely seeing some of us cling to that story, and that's no longer the case. We can take that power and we can create the relationships that are healthy in our lives and make those tweaks and changes where necessary. Okay, so I'm really hearing that loud and clear for this week. The next thing I'm really seeing is money problem solving and finding resolution. So what I was really hearing for this week was almost this understanding once again of that bigger picture. When it comes to our finances, sometimes it can be a tricky one, because I feel a lot of us, when we take the spiritual path, we start to begin to understand that it's actually okay and it's not selfish to have money. But then there's also this other side of the coin that sometimes we still feel that shame, or sometimes we still feel selfish for having money. And we have a lot of these stories from our past, from our family, and perhaps how we were taught to utilize money, or the role models we had for money. And I'm just seeing us still kind of clinging to some of these unhealthy money patterns. But this week I'm seeing us really get some clarity on this. So I'm hearing, if any of you have been struggling financially, you're wanting to get a better hand on your financial situation, I'm hearing sit down and do some brainstorming. So once again, reach out for help if you need it in this area. It's nothing to be ashamed of. And to really reach out to your guides. And once more, use the co-creative powers you have with the universe to really bring about what you need. And really what I'm hearing with that is ask. Have you truly asked the universe for what you actually need? And I'm seeing some of us go a little deeper into our finances this week and really kind of, it's almost like no stone unturned is what they're kind of showing me. And it's like, okay, let's look at every nook and cranny. Let's look at every situation that I am in with my finances, and then really just getting the details. And I'm seeing us get a lot of clarity and illumination this week as well, because I'm seeing some of us are actually afraid of going into our money scenario. And it's like, let's face that fear this week. Let's actually understand where we truly are, and let's get that clarity of what we truly need every single month, or what we're needing right now for us to be able to live a fulfilling life. And I'm just hearing, ask for your needs to be met, because the angels and our guides can only help us if we give them that permission. So have you specifically asked for those needs? And I'm hearing, get specific. What X amount of money do you need? What X amounts of support do you need every single month? And it's like, what would it look like if your needs were met every month? And it's like finding that, once again, that harmony and equilibrium, and finding that balance this week, even within our finances. And I'm finding we're going to really come to some resolution with this. So really just allow yourself to go a little deeper into these practical matters this week as well. But a word of caution I'm hearing, do not allow money to bring you into a state of lack. And what I'm really hearing is, once again, find the good. Keep focused on the positivity, and know that every day, small steps equal one big step. So once again, problem solving. What can you do practically to change your situation every single day? How can I make baby steps to get to the goals that I have? And I'm really just hearing, work with the universe for these needs to be met. Okay? Next, we have this family bonds. So redefining family is what I wrote. And what I'm hearing a lot of this week is this opening of the heart chakra once more. And as our heart chakras have been opening, we're finding this middle ground. And what I mean by that, it's like previous hurts, previous relationships, family connections that perhaps have been rocky or shaky, or haven't been the fulfilling relationships we've needed or wanted. I'm hearing this understanding is taking place this week, where we're beginning to redefine what those bonds truly mean to us, what ones are healthy, what ones are unhealthy, and we're getting this clarity of what does family truly mean to me. And I'm hearing for some of us, it might very well mean that our blood relatives really aren't the family that we need. And I'm hearing some of us are coming to this illumination of soul family, soul connections, and really redefining who is my family, who really shows up for me, who really is there and genuinely, unconditionally loves me no matter what. And I'm hearing we're just finding this encouragement. There's no judgment on this week. I'm hearing quite the opposite. I'm hearing this understanding of the capabilities perhaps our blood family has in their abilities to love, with our partners, their ability to love us. And it's almost this understanding of, how do I need to be loved? And how can I communicate that to my family? Or how can I be open in this understanding that perhaps others are just loving me to the best of their capabilities? And coming to this mature love. And that's what I'm hearing this week. It's like the bonds that we are forming from here on out are going to be much more mature. We're no longer getting triggered and hurt and taking things in such an extreme and personal level when we have this higher understanding of what love truly means, and how some people, they have a certain capacity where perhaps we don't, or perhaps others do have limits on their love where we don't. And I'm just hearing this understanding and compassion comes in when we realize that others are only acting from their wounds, from their personal stories, from their personal experiences, and we begin to take the story of family and not make it personal. And I really hope this is making sense, but it's once again this bigger perspective, this more spiritual lens that we're starting to see things through, where it's like, wow, everybody really is on their own path and journey. And their journey really has nothing to do with me. I very well might be a part of their story, but it doesn't necessarily mean that everything revolves around me. Perhaps this is their story. This is what they need to experience, and I'm going to experience what I need. And there's this greater understanding that takes place. And I do see some of us releasing toxic family patterns. And this is really allowing for this reawakening to take place, this higher understanding to take place. And we're truly letting go and redefining these old wounds and these old stories and what family truly means. So quite a lot of groundbreaking lessons, I have to say, I feel coming through this week. But ultimately, it does not feel heavy. It feels light. So I see a lot of this freedom taking place this week, allowing ourselves to speak freely, allowing ourselves to understand, and giving ourselves this liberation of the old story. Next, we have this expansiveness. So when I heard this word, they were showing me literally the universe, the planets, space, stars. And once again, getting this expansive view. We're understanding what love truly means. We're beginning to understand how the universe sees this world. And we're beginning to get this outside look on the human experience, is what I want to say. And we begin to apply this once more to our power, to where we might not be fully allowing ourselves the full limitless potential of the human experience. And what I'm hearing with this is that word freedom once more. So where have we been still catering or to other people or dimming our light? Where have we still been not confident in our abilities? And it's like, if we could once again get that expansive view, literally that world view, that universal view of our lives, would we then be able to better pick out where change is needed, where we're needing to see our greatness, where we're needing to see ourselves in our entirety. And then we begin to see how minuscule our worries, our burdens, our concerns truly are in the grand scheme of things. We begin to then see our purpose more fully. We begin to see that grand picture of our human experience. And it's like, oh my gosh, well, this is what I need to be doing. And here I've been focusing on all these small little minute details that might seem so big in our lives right now. But then we begin to see that those worries, those fears that are holding us back from our great purpose here become less important. And we begin to focus in on that big picture. Well, I'm here to do XYZ. I'm here to uplift humanity. I'm here to spread unconditional love. And it's like, how can we instill that grand purpose into our daily life and truly bring about this beauty to our earthly experience every single day? And once more, this goes to our manifestations. What do we want to bring into our lives? Get that expansive view this week. And with that, I'm just hearing so much love is coming through. So much gratitude is coming through as we make these modifications, as we once again become more in alignment with our spiritual truth and path. And this liberation happens from the stories that we tell ourselves of our lives. The burdens, the worries, the things that truly don't matter. And we begin to reprioritize and refocus on what truly does. So this week, once more, we're just getting this beautiful glimpse into that bigger, broader, expansive viewpoint. So with that, I'm hearing gratitude, cultivating that gratitude, where we've been so far, what we've done, what we've accomplished. Gratitude for all of our earthly experiences, understanding why we were born into the families we were born into, the connections we've had, and we're just getting such a beautiful glimpse into this week and what it means to really claim our power now and to move forward in a very spiritual way. And I love it. I just absolutely love this energy so much. And with this, the next theme was spiritual rebirth and creative pregnancy. So with that, so much of this transformative energy. So what does it mean to be truly reborn? When we think of it, we've had this incubation period where a lot of us the past few years, we've been shedding these old stories. We've been letting go of these false programs, these narratives, these 3D perspectives that really do not resonate with us anymore. And with that shedding, it's like that incubation of growing now that little baby, that going through that pregnancy period of feeding ourselves, feeding that little baby, nurturing that baby, loving that baby through this process. And actually removing those stories. So it's like, no, we're not going to partake in this food, or we're not going to have alcohol, we're not going to smoke, we're not going to do these things because we know that's unhealthy for this new life that we're creating. And it's like we're going through that process of elimination. So we've done so much of that. And then with this elimination, we're now focusing, oh, what's good for me? What's actually healthy for me? What's going to make this baby grow? And that's what I'm really hearing with this spiritual rebirth process. It's like now we're at a point of, oh, let's get prepared now for the delivery. So it's like, what do I now want to birth into creation? What do I want to birth into this world? And that's what I'm seeing is once more this bigger picture now. oh, this is the human being that I want to be. This is the personality that I want to have. This is the ground I want to stand on, the foundations I want to have for when I enter this new world, when I create this new world for myself. And it's like creating this beautiful new soul. And it is this complete transformation of self as we liberate ourselves, as we free ourselves from what was toxic to what now is beautiful and healthy and loving and innocent. And when I say that word innocent, when we're a baby, we're a clean slate. We've had no conditioning. We've had no programming. All we've ever known is the instinct, the nurturing, the love that we require. We ask for our needs to be met. We're excited for life. We have totally fresh perspectives on life. There's no toxic thinking. And it's like, this is what we're creating in this moment in time, is this new version of self. And it's like, wow, it's so powerful how we're evolving and how we're truly unlearning these toxic patterns and ways of being, so we can come into this life now completely new. And it's this beautiful transformation that I am seeing really come to fruition this week. So it's like, once more, getting that fresh perspective. What's good for me? What's not? What do I, or how do I want to view this world? How can I now create more beauty, more unconditional love, more nurturing, a world that nurtures me, a world that fulfills me, a world that's so spiritually in alignment with me? And how can I continue creating this, co-creating and asking the universe for its support, for this healing energy that I require? It's just the most beautiful feelings this week that I'm tapping into, of this unconditional love, and we're making room in our hearts for it. For the first time for many of us, we're welcoming in support for the universe. We're noticing that this is our divine right to be supported, and it's so, so beautiful. So our last theme is this creative pregnancy. So there's so much around creativity this week. We have this beautiful theme of getting excited, claiming our power, and going after what truly makes us feel alive, and getting creative with that. So is there a creative project that you've put to the side? Is there something that you've been wanting to once more birth into the world? It's time to revisit that this week. And I'm seeing a lot of us do even just artwork, making changes in our home, having a passion project. I'm just seeing us feel alive, and it's like putting that effort in this week, putting in that time, because what I'm really hearing is whatever this is for each of us, it lights us up to a degree like nothing else. And so that's what I'm hearing. It's like our soul is longing to express itself in this creative way. So it's like, allow yourself to go to the inner artist, allow yourself to create more this week. And I'm just seeing this creative expression will really help us bring about this childlike enthusiasm again and ignite that passion towards our lives where we might have been feeling a lack. So really block out distractions this week. Really focus on what you were grateful for, what you want to create, really focusing on that bigger picture. And I'm seeing so much beauty, and they're showing me these seeds being planted, these new seeds that we are planting, these manifestations, these new goals, these new creative projects. And it's like, so exciting, because now this rebirth can finally happen. So it's like allowing those seeds to grow, nurturing them as they come through, and it's like this rebirth that happens this week. So very, very exciting themes. I really hope you guys enjoy this week's reading thus far. Let me know how it relates with you, and I'm sending you all so much love and light this week. Have a beautiful and blessed week ahead, my friends. Bye.